season. COVID's been a massive interruption.
You could see there was definitely something there. Basketball is the potential of absolutely huge.
I never thought of a new head coach.
They're going to come back, everyone's really positive.
You must stay at home.
We burst forward, we look fantastic to watch.
I didn't know Middlesbrough was quite as big as it is.
Really? Yeah.
Everybody's been very nice. It's a really good team. Everybody comes together. You know, there's not a lot of argument, not a lot of egos and stuff. So
Massive crowd today, and I think that's what, they're going to come back, everyone's really positive.
yeah, it's just been pretty good, and I've enjoyed it so far.
So when we finished the season, we got promoted. It was a fantastic season. The following year, we lost Papis and Mike Konanek, and they were two of the best players in the league. And we gained a couple of other players, most notably Marcos Lopez, who was an American. And he was a fantastic player, fantastic person. He also really enjoyed working in the community, and we had a season that wasn't as good. I think it was probably a step too far in Division 3, and we didn't have the players that we needed to compete as well as we would have liked. So after that season, we decided to pause the National League setup. We'd lost a sponsor, and at the time I feel like we decided to take a step back in order to go forwards. So we paused the National League men's side and decided to put a lot of attention into the community development. And I suppose that's where we've kind of brought ourselves to. Going from sessions where we might have had 30 people in junior sessions to where we are now with 180 kids in junior sessions is good, and it's given us a foundation to build the club on, and to have that sustainable pathway from juniors in the community to junior national league and into the senior professional side.
One of our biggest projects at the time was for James to take a junior national league team. So his focus was quite a lot in that area at the time of developing some players that could actually play on sort of a national level.
As a club, I think we put a lot of effort into the junior national league programme. We had an under-15 national league team, and we also had the senior men's national league team, but we didn't really have the grassroots in development. We did have some community sessions, but I think there was a bigger area that we needed to put attention into.
The focus of James and the club was definitely to progress the junior side to give us a good foundation. As we started building stuff up, especially from a community standpoint, it seemed to be getting bigger and bigger all the time. There was a couple of weeks where I'd be at university and I'd be away, and then I'd come back maybe a week later and the session was just bigger, and then there'd be another gap, and then it'd be bigger and bigger and bigger. And I remember arriving at one of the junior sessions one day, and it happened so fast that we couldn't sort of prepare for it, and there was way too many people on one court, so we obviously had to sit down and think, like, this is really, really good, but like the club's getting huge.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back a while. I started in the club beginning of last season, and my son and daughter started playing on the Thursdays and the Saturdays. And I was watching, there was something here. James had big ambitions at the time, and he was running a very successful local club. We hadn't, they weren't in the National League at that point, but he had experience with it. And he really wanted to do things, and you could see the passion and the quality of the basketball he was delivering to the community at that point. And one thing another, myself and James got talking, and we kind of saw, he put across his passion, his ambitions of where he wanted to be, and you could see there was definitely something there. Basketball is the potential of absolutely huge sport.
We like the Lions.
Can't fault what he does here at the club.
Yeah. We like the coach, he's James.
4 or 5 times a week.
I just thought that the atmosphere was fantastic.
Moved away from playing on his PS4. Does not stop playing as a result, as a result of coming here.
I love it.
High quality coaching
Because he always does slams.
that they get here. The coaches have brought him out of himself.
There was 2 courts, there was youngsters, there was the high-level senior players, there was recreational seniors.
His confidence has grown so much.
Because I like him.
Atmosphere was fantastic.
You'd love to play in the NBA?
There's a really good base of young players coming through.
Do you think it's a good idea for the Lions to put together a senior team?
Yeah.
Looking forward to coming even as a parent.
It's really, really positive.
So at the start of the 2019-2020 season, we entered the team into senior men's National League basketball again for the first time in 7 years, 6-7 years around there, and there was an excitement. I think we were, as a club, we were much better positioned. We knew things that had gone wrong the first time, or not gone wrong, but we knew there was elements that we had to give attention to to make sure we had a successful product this season.
It's like that with anything, isn't it? Yes, some people probably thought it would even get a season up, it wouldn't get up and running. People thought, no one's going to want to watch the games, etc. Like that. And I think a lot of people it's great when people tell you it can't be done. Everyone loves that story. There's nothing better, especially for the region, for Teesside, as a whole. There's a lot of ups and downs. We've had a hard time over the generations, and there's some fantastic stuff happening now with what the Ben Houchen, the TVC mayor, is doing, but also Andy Preston in the area doing fantastic things, bringing jobs, construction industry, building and digital jobs into the area, which is awesome. And for us as well, a bit like Infant Hercules, we can start from nothing. We can build a club that can get not only through the national leagues quite quickly, but then get into that BBL league and be competing against the best clubs in the UK, and then looking at what we can do in Europe in this area. It is achievable. It's achievable within a realistic time frame. Sort of within 3 to 5 years, we could be competing. And I suppose the thing is, it's not just competing. We want to be winning that league. And that might be as lofty as ambition we could have. We want to win that BBL league, but within 5 years, we could be doing it. There's nothing really stopping us. If we can galvanise the area, we can get the fans, a couple of thousand fans coming together, which isn't a lot compared to other sports, and you can get the interest of the influencers in the area, like the mayors, and also businesses. It's absolutely achievable, and it'll just be fantastic to look back on that journey with all the people who've joined us and actually think, we've done something really good. We've done, from speaking to James and where we were last season, we thought, we can make something of this. We can make something for the area that people will be proud of initially. So last season we started, we were kind of thrown in the deep end, didn't know exactly what we were doing from the commercial side, running it in, but we started getting the sponsors together, started running the actual events, etc. Got the games up and running, got the season going, and it was a fantastic season. The club, from almost from standstill to getting those events filled, getting 500 people into that arena, the atmosphere, and some really big wins against some local rivals, and it was fabulous. Like, yes, this is definitely something we can do. It kind of gives us confidence that there was a really good thing we can make on Teesside with the basketball club.
We were better placed this time around as a professional National League club for the fact that we had much better resources, not just in terms of finances, but in terms of the people around the club that were helping to put things together in a professional way. We're not just a club that turns up to a school sports hall and puts bibs on and then plays a game of basketball. We have large attendances at the game. We have a cafe and the merchandise and everything else that goes along to make it the package that it is, and the excitement that brings people into wanting to watch the games and the events and stay connected with the Teesside Lions. I suppose the biggest change from 6 years ago is we changed our name from Middlesbrough Lions to Teesside Lions. The main reason being, we found that we were encompassing a bigger area. We had players from Whitby and Bedale, Leeds, York, Newcastle, so we wanted to represent the region, if you like, of Teesside and Tees Valley, as opposed to just one specific town. Looking forward to the 2019-2020 season, we put together quite an impressive team. It was the comeback, if you like. There was a lot of attention around it. Quite pleased with what we did. I think we could have done a lot more on the court, but as a product, the branding, the atmosphere, the crowds, the chants, everyone engaged in such a positive way. The media coverage of the Lions, we were out there in a really, really big way. The sponsors that we'd secured were really positive and allowed us to invest into to making the surroundings something really positive and something that people wanted to be part of.
So we were playing in the Durham League at the time, and then I sort of heard about the opportunity to potentially go back into the National League, and I definitely wanted to be a part of it straight away, and I already sort of in my head started making plans to to make sure that that could happen for the next season, that I could be part of it and that I could commit to it. And it was exciting because like it was something that I'd wanted to do in the past, and it was an opportunity that had gone away, and then now it was back. It was definitely an exciting prospect.
Yeah, so as I said to James, what inspired you to get involved with Teesside Lions, or like where's your background, how long have you been involved with it?
Okay, so I'm from Leeds originally. I coach professional basketball, running a junior club in Leeds for 15, 16 years. I stopped coaching to start teaching and left the basketball to one side for a few years. I relocated to the northeast, and basketball was kind of way in the past for me. As a kind of way to get fit, I was looking for somewhere to just have a run around, and stumbled across the Lions. I came down for the first session and I just thought that the atmosphere was fantastic. When I first turned up, there was 2 courts, there was youngsters, there was the high-level senior players, there was recreational seniors, and the atmosphere was fantastic. It was really welcoming, really supportive. The kids were interacting with the older ones off to the side, and lots of high fives, really good atmosphere. So after that initial experience, I kind of revealed to James that I was from a National League playing and coaching background, and offered my services a little bit. So I've really enjoyed kind of working with some of the younger players that are involved with the senior team and giving them some pointers here and there. But it very much mirrors the setup that we had back in Leeds, where there's a really good base of young players coming through. And if you start with that broad base, as you go up and up and up, you end up with a really high quality top tier, and that seems to be what we're working towards here now. There's guys travelling a good distance to come in and be a part of what we're trying to do. And as far as my experience of basketball in the North East, is really good family atmosphere, really supportive, and really putting that emphasis on elite basketball. So I think it's really, really positive.
So playing National League basketball for the team was it was special. Again, it feels like something bigger than it is because of the production value. So you feel like you're playing at an extremely high level just because of how the games are set up, the arena, the fans is a huge thing. The difference between playing in a sports hall in local league and then suddenly playing with a stand that's full of people feels like a completely different level. And then again, just the chance to play with athletes from all different places, all different levels, that have been part of all different backgrounds was just really good.
So the season itself, I suppose, was we were quite confident going into the season. We had a really strong team, and we were quite confident in doing something impressive. We wanted to send signals out to the league that we had a good team, and we were keen to do well. And I suppose it didn't really work out as well as we would have liked. I think partly and probably mainly because of we did have a few injuries, and we didn't have the core of the squad together as much as we would have liked. At times, we had to rely on 2 15-year-old players to help us out, and it wasn't it wasn't what we had envisaged at the start of the season. But having said that, there were some really good games and events coming out of the year. Most notably the run just after Christmas, where we put up a really good performance against the current leaders in Lancashire Spinners, and then the week after we were playing Calderdale, who were then the leaders, and we managed to beat Calderdale. And then there was the big one against Newcastle Eagles, the under-23 side, who were unbeaten in 13 games, and we managed to beat them in front of the biggest crowd of the season. So that was the highlight. I think it was evidence of what could have been, really, if we had all the pieces of that jigsaw on a more consistent basis. But overall, you know, we kind of stamped our intentions onto National League basketball, and we raised some eyebrows. People up and down the country were impressed with what we were showing, the crowds that we were managing to attract in Division 3 basketball for a brand new team. So with a brand new team, you know, it does take time to settle. You have players that have just come together, so that, you know, there are reasons why, you know, we can understand why we didn't do as well as we would have liked. But we wanted to put that right. And over the summer we managed to secure the services of the Great Britain coach Mark Stoutel, and Mark's appointment was just a huge spotlight on the club. Many questions, not just around the UK but Europe and USA, as to why you know, such an elite coach has chosen to sign for a National League Division 3 team. And it was a proud moment, I think, for myself and for the club, that we've managed to sell our vision and our desires for basketball in this area, and that he had chosen to come to us and take us on to that next level.
We had some conversations about who we were going to bring in where, sort of thing, but I never thought at the time that we were going to be bringing in somebody else to take that sort of culture and responsibility as a head coach of the National League team. Especially since I know that James does like that aspect of the game as well. I just presumed he would always be the head coach. But it was sort of a massive thing to hear that someone of Mark's stature and experience was going to be brought in to progress the National League programme. I think it was a big surprise to everyone.
Bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. To put with the bass, I'm slumming it through. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.